Afia aho, I say namaste and blessings to all. Welcome to Shadow of Wolves. Let's talk about and give the homage to the female Orishas, the energy that has sacrificed so much for each other, for us, and for the world. Let's begin, as I will cover some of these Orishas within this segment of blessings of a female Orishas. Let's start with Orisha Yemaya, Maferefun Yemaya, as Yemaya is considered as the oldest daughter of Olodumare in the Orisha faith. In understanding the sacrifice of Yemaya and watching her and Ochun were watching her children being transported from Africa through Cuba and throughout the seas through the slave trade, okay? Yemaya, seeing this, was looking at the tears of her little sister Ochun and said, "Where are my people going?" And she said, "They're going to a new land." And Ochun requested and had Yemaya transport her because Ochun wanted to go with her people to Cuba. Yemaya transformed Ochun into a mulatto so that she will be accepted during the times of the slave trade, the times that we didn't understand the beauty of blackness, the times that we did not understand the beauty, as they say, the darker the flesh, the deeper the roots. We did not understand the beauty of this. So Yemaya transformed Ochun into a mulatto so that she will be accepted and be able to travel with her children to Cuba. Yemaya's rains poured, her water from the heavens, Olodumare Alofi, poured upon the lands with her tears crying for her children during the slave trade. But not only that, Yemaya also took the chance to read the Dilogun, the Katakos, the cowrie shells, which originally belonged to Arula, her husband. She took that chance. And the Pataki says that when she was doing the Dilogun and people were in line in blessing of her readings, because she was such a beautiful reader and an intuitive and psychic reader in working with the Dilogun, that Arula caught her as the 16 shells fell out and he disguised himself when he returned from vacation. Yemaya took this chance in sacrificing and giving blessings to people. This is why Arula reads with the equale and santeros, who are crowned, read with the Dilogun, with the cowrie shells. Yemaya took this chance and sacrifice, and many, many more things that she has done to save us. Let's move on, as we can only cover a certain amount of Orishas because there are so many. Some say 144 different Orishas, and there are different paths of Yemaya. For example, mine being Asesu, you have Achaba, you have so many different paths of Orisha. So let's continue on to Orisha Ochun, Maferefun Ochun, Maferefun Yalode, as there is sadly a path of Ochun who received her riches in the river and cleaned her dress over and over again until it turned yellow, as she had lost her house and was abused. And she also lost her hands. This particular path of Ochun is the revolutionary Ochun. Ochun also sacrificed herself for the world, as the male Orishas underestimated the power of Ochun, as she being a very small and young Orisha, a very powerful Orisha that sits next to the throne of Olodumare. Okay, she is the messenger. Now, the path of Ochun I would like to cover is Ibukole. Ibukole is the road of the vulture. How did this happen? She cried and she flew all the way to the heavens, where the sun and everything burned out her beauty, as she is the Orisha of beauty, to sacrifice in giving a message to save humanity. This is very sacred and important. Maferefun Ochun, Maferefun Yalorde, as I am born from Ochun and thankful every day. In blessings of that, the male Orishas felt that they did not need Ochun. So Ochun sat at the top of the world looking down, and the male Orishas realized they had no sweet waters to drink. They had no love. the protector of children of women, was no longer here. She let them see humbly of how they needed love on this earth, how they needed sweet waters. Everything went dry because they felt like they did not need Ochun. Ochun also sacrificed her life to save Oya. When Oya was being trapped and stolen by a king, the road of Ochun sacrificed her life in giving herself and her virginity to save her sister Oya. This is a pact in the beauty between Ochun and Oya. Ache, with blessings of this and understanding. In blessings and understanding, Orisha Yewa, who fell in love with the seduction, as no one can resist Shango. She fell in love with the seduction of Shango and realized, as she was the Orisha of flowers and virginity and beauty, that she has disappointed her father by falling in love and sleeping with Shango. She banished her own self into the cemetery as she lives within the earth of the cemetery and helps us to clear our bodies and our flesh and bones. She didn't have to do this, but she did this to sacrifice in saving face and keeping herself pure in understanding that. Let's talk about Oshanla. Oshanla is the female aspect of Obatala. She is the Orisha that is reigning of this year, but also to the Orisha of health. Oshanla has also paths within Yemaya, that she also lives within the ocean. And she is the Orisha of beauty. She is the wife of Oduduwa. And Oduduwa, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I'm talking from the top of my head without reading anything. I have just a list here of the female Orishas I would like to talk about. She also seats in the heavens of kingdoms, and she helps us with the aspects of wisdom. She is sacrificing herself. She is a path of Obatala, Oshanla. She is sacrificing herself to take care of all the things and the health issues that we are having within the world today of 2022. Maferefun Oshanla. Oshanla also is a very old Orisha. Not only is she the Orisha with the path of Obatala and has aspects of Yemaya, but she is sacrificing and helping doctors and nurses and those in the healthcare profession to give us a cure and to save humanity. Let's continue and let's move on to Yewa we spoke about. Let's talk about Yembo. Maferefun and Orisha, some say Yemu or Yembo. Yembo is the mother of Shango. She is not only the mother of Shango, they say that she's the mother of Achosi and Ogun and Elegua. That is what is said. Yembo was traveling on the ferry boat, which the ferry boat belongs to Agayu. She had to sacrifice herself in giving herself to Orisha Agayu, and that's how Shango was born. Yembo is such one of the most beautiful Orishas, and I mean in physical beauty, that in some places where she traveled, she had to hide herself so that she is not violated by onlookers and so forth. In blessings of Orisha Yembo, who gave herself and gave birth to Shango as Yemaya raised Shango. Let's continue and move on to another Pataki where Shango did not recognize Yemaya and he fell in love with her in a certain fiesta and drumming. And she had to sacrifice herself and take him on the ocean on a boat and said, "You don't remember who I am?" Shango, being in such fear of Yemaya, and they say that he cannot swim, gave respect to Yemaya as he remembered all the sacrifices that she gave to raise him. Let's talk about Oroinya, the mother of Agayu, a very, very powerful hot Orisha that lives deep within the volcanoes, that also has not given many blessings, and we don't recognize and realize that this particular Orisha is so powerful that she gave part of herself so that Agayu can have his colors and his strength. That is her son, is Oroinya. In blessings to Oroinya. Let's talk about Orisha Otin. She doesn't get recognition. Orisha Otin is the female aspect of Achosi. They say that she is his twin sister. Many people don't recognize this Orisha, so she doesn't get the homage that she deserves when it comes time to crowning and marking the guardian angel. Orisha Otin is the female aspect identical to Orisha Ochosi Odemata. She is also the daughter of Yemaya. As Yemaya carried Achosi, yes, she's the mother of the world, but she is the legitimate and true mother of Achosi and Orisha Otin, who they say is the twin of Achosi, and she's also a huntress. She made a pact with Ogun so that her legacy can live on. And that pact with Ogun, for him to never forget her. The arrow also lives inside of Ogun and Maferefuna Chosi as they work together. Ache. Let's talk also about Oba Nani, Orisha Oba, Maferefuna Oba. As my Yubona is crowned Oba or Ochun, as I'm talking to you, I feel this. Oba gave the ultimate sacrifice and love for her legitimate legal husband, Shango. This is the true wife of Shango. Orisha Oba, the Orisha of marriage, the Orisha that taught many other Orishas how to hunt and how to fight. And she was not only known, with all due respect, as one of the best housewives and best cooks, actually cut her ear off and gave it in Amala to sacrifice her love for Shango. Even though she was banished and abolished from the kingdom, she still survived throughout the woods, and she still hunted, and she still walked with the Chosi to hunt her prey. She taught many, many Orishas how to fight and how to survive, and she is known to be, when we wake up in the morning and we cook or we prepare for Thanksgiving and so forth, or whatever holiday you celebrate, I'm not getting into that, and we feel the energies of cooking and cleaning, that is the energy of Orisha Oba. Let's talk about Nana Buruku. Nana Buruku is the mother of Asohano. She is also the mother Orisha of the moon and of the world, one of the oldest Orishas that do not get recognition, as behind the powerful force of sickness and health. She gives health and she gives blessings. And without her, her son, Asohano, which is in the road, we talk about San Lazaro, would not be born. Let's talk about Orisha Anaiki. Oh my God, this is the first Elegua, female Elegua, old Elegua, that gave birth to the other Eleguases. There's a Pataki, and I could go on, where Anaiki gave birth. The first female Elegua, Anaiki, gave birth to Elegua. And she lost so much by forgetting the promise also of the coconut tree. Her son being the great prince in her castle of Elegua, she learned many, many sacrifices that she had to make. Her tears gave birth to all the Eleguases. Anaiki, Maferefun Elegua, Che Motukwe. Let's talk about these female Orishas. As many mothers throughout the world, we give our sacrifice for our children, no matter the consequences that has been made, no matter the consequences of what we have to give up. We know the sacrifices, and as long as we know that they are good and that they are blessed, whether there's a separation or a unity, the sacrifices of a mother can never be forgotten. Don't forget that each Orisha walks with spirit, because we cannot go to Orisha without Olofi Olodumare, without spirit, without Egun. Let's talk about all these sacrifices that have been made. Let's continue to understand that Orisha sacrifices of the spiritual energy. For example, sadly, I don't like talking about this Pataki, when my father, Ode Mata, shot the arrow in the air and it hit his mother, Yemaya, that path of Yemaya, that was also a sacrifice that had to be made, as it was a mistake. But it's a sacrifice spoken amongst many paleros and santeros and babalaos and so forth. She still sacrificed for the world. So in understanding and giving homage, I want to make sure that I covered all of them, all of these particular energies, and there's many more. So stay tuned, as we must also, for this month especially and every day, say Mafedefun Orisha, in blessings to the sacrifice of the world, and blessings also too to the Lesrien, who have lost many of their children from human experiments and scientific experiments on mermaids and so forth. In blessings to all of you, Mafedefun Yemaya, Mafedefun Oba Nani, Mafedefun Ochun, Mafedefun Yembo, Mafedefun Oya, Mafedefun Yewa, Mafedefun Orisha Otin, Mafedefun Orisha Ache. And I pray that you got some Ache from this video and within your life. May you step in with progress and love and prosperity of the world. Ache Modupwe. Thank you for watching Shadow of Wolves.